Alright, I think we are live at this point. Hello, hello, everybody. Posting out the notifications real quick. Okay, that's all done. Cool. Okay. Hi, Wesley. How's it going? Or should I say Davy Bones 1114? Alrighty. So let's get into it. Let's do an article. Let's do an article. So let's read something we can post to YouTube. How to deal with a cease and desist letter from big tech. That one's been on the list for a while. Finding the last editor. I think this is DHH's article from a while ago too. Committing to Windows. Stop mocking fetch. There's some ones I'm interested in here. Of course I'm interested. I picked them. So, you know. Linear lenses in Haskell. How to deal with cease and desist. This is something I may have to deal with at some point. So, in my very new streaming career. So, you know, maybe we should. That's not the link, dude. Why'd you open the picture? Okay. Alrighty. How to deal with cease and desist letters from big tech. Okay, let's make this bigger. Just a little bit bigger. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you too. Good to see you too. Getting back into the swing of things after being off for a couple weeks, you know? Alright, let me set a marker real quick. Marker. How to deal with a cease and desist from big tech. There we go. All right, let's get started here. How to deal with receiving a cease and desist letter from big tech, by Lewis Barclay, whatever. However the correct pronunciation is. I'm sorry. I have to say I'm sorry. So in July 2021, Facebook sent me a cease and desist letter because I made a browser extension, Unfollow Everything, which helped people use Facebook less. Interesting. Oh, one sec. We probably wanna pause this for the read here. So it says, cease and desist, abuse of Facebook nudgeware. Dear Mr. Barclay, we represent Facebook Inc., based in Menlo Park, California, and Facebook Ireland Ltd., based in Dublin, Ireland. Facebook has gathered evidence that your Chrome extension, Unfollow Everything for Facebook, facilitates unauthorized functionality on Facebook. Specifically, your extension automates actions on Facebook, including mass following and unfollowing of friends, pages, groups. Your extension also impermissibly makes use of Facebook trademarks. These activities violate Facebook's terms. So, okay, if you're using their trademarks, I think that's a bad thing. You probably shouldn't do that. But I don't think they can send you a cease and desist to tell you to stop just for augmenting a website. That's not something that I think they can do. You're extending it on a user's personal machine. You're not influencing anyone else on the site, essentially. So why would a cease and desist make sense? Interesting. Over the years, a number of developers who have also received cease and desist letters from Facebook have gotten in touch with me. So here's a roundup of my advice. Disclaimer, I'm not a lawyer. This is not financial advice. This is not medical advice. Yeah. And nothing in here should be taken as legal advice. I'll try to add caveats throughout where my experience may not be relevant. Okay? Okay. Anticipate the risk. If you've already received a cease and desist letter, skip to the next section. But if you're making software or doing research that's adversarial to big tech, I don't even think that's adversarial. It's adding additional functionality. It's not adversarial. And haven't thought at all about the possibility of receiving a cease and desist letter, this message is for you. Be aware that it could happen any day. That makes sense. I didn't understand that making software that interoperated with Facebook opened me up to the risk of a cease and desist letter and a lifetime ban. So, legal action against you because extending the site I don't think can happen, but a lifetime ban from their services could. I don't know, it's Facebook. Wouldn't be that bad, would it, right? Right? I guess you wouldn't get threads, but meh. Being more aware of that should have set my expectations better so that I wouldn't have been so shocked. A handy rule of thumb, if you're doing almost anything, including but not limited to software that interacts with big tech platforms inside or outside of official APIs or services, you are at risk of receiving a cease and desist letter, even if you don't see what you're doing as adversarial to the platform. See, that's where I was thinking, that doesn't seem adversarial at all. So this is weird to me. Sending out cease and desist letters is very easy, and these platforms have a lot of money, so it makes sense for them to cast the net wide. Things you can lower your risk are working within a large organization to deal with a legal and PR team ready to defend you, which will make big tech platforms think twice before hitting send. See, but that's expensive, and like, I don't think, most indie developers are gonna be able to do this. Working on something that is clearly in public interest that will blow up in big tech's face if they try to ban it, e.g. research. Interesting. Note that neither of these stopped Facebook from sending NYU researchers a cease and desist in 2021, so there are no guarantees. Really? Really? Facebook disables ad observatory. Make an effective resource for journalists and academia. Placement and targeting of ads on social media. Interesting. I would think they would be interested in such information, not want to squash it. Like, I could see them like trying to acquire this somehow, either through legitimate or illegitimate means, but like just trying to squash a NYU project seems kind of weird to me. Now that you're anticipating the risk of cease and desist, here are a few preparatory steps. Download all a copy of the data from your platform. Okay. And do this regularly. Yeah, probably on like a weekly basis, essentially. Make sure there's nothing critical in your life relies on using the platform. It shouldn't be your primary means of contacting any important people. See, this is hard because if you feel passionately enough to make an extension that makes your work better, like, it really does seem like it would be like you're putting yourself at risk of losing access to the platform permanently just to extend it, which is just, that's just terrible. That's alienating your power users on your platform and alienating the people who are adding features that people might actually want in the future. Like you might like this happened a lot with like Android ecosystem early on. Like there were tons and tons of phones that had different softwares, and they were all innovating. But at the same time, there were things that people wanted that none of those manufacturers gave them. So in came custom ROMs and people rooting their phones to get that functionality. Well, it turns out a bunch of those features ended up in the OS anyway. So, and where do you think Google got them? They went, hey, these people felt passionate enough about this to add it to their device. Like these are probably important features that we're missing. So I think squashing these things, like there's a different way to go about this. If you want to like outmode the extension by making the feature yourself, that's one thing. But like just saying no and like putting out a cease and desist is kind of scummy, I think. But read the platform's terms of service to understand which things they might accuse you of doing that breach the agreement. Yeah, I know you'll have to be one of the approximately 3 people in the world who ever actually read this document. More than 3 people should read this document, and I say this as someone who doesn't read those documents. We all should. Like, we all really should read those. So, consult a lawyer in your jurisdiction to get the opinion on what you are doing versus the terms of service so that you aren't blindsided. Make sure you have a lawyer a phone call away for when you need them. Great. Let's move on to when you receive the letter. Know that you're probably going to be okay. On the actual... This is good. On the actual day that things went down, the first thing I noticed was that I couldn't log onto my Facebook or Instagram accounts. Then 5 hours later, Thursday evening at midnight, I received a cease and desist letter. I didn't really understand what it was. I would have wanted to know that. There was virtually zero chance of going to jail or indeed court. In retrospect, it seemed crazy that I was worried about this, but it just shows how scary the experience was. See, I didn't think they could take you to court over it. They could close your account, sure, but I didn't think they could take you to court. A cease and desist letter doesn't mean any kind of formal legal action has started against you. It's notionally a first step towards that kind of thing, but in practice, it's used to scare you into doing what the company wants, and if you do it, they're unlikely to go further. So if you don't want any trouble, you can just stop. So it's like a warning shot, essentially. Companies can pull all sorts of outrageous claims and demand in a cease and desist letter, even if they aren't true or legally enforceable. It's essentially a bullying tactic. They can reference parts of their terms of service that you signed up to, which will make things sound scarier, but those terms that may themselves be completely unfair. Companies have unfair terms of service because they are a wish list of how they like the world to work, which will stand until it gets challenged in court or chastised by a regular, and that will take years. So even if a company is quoting their terms of service at you, bear in mind that some of these may be completely unenforceable, or if the matter were to reach court. I suspect that like there's a bunch of this in those terms, TOS. I really bet that like a good percentage of them are unenforceable, essentially, which makes me wonder like why do they even try? Why don't they put out reasonable terms of service that people can read? And I guess it's just probably to like it's for that chance, I guess, maybe that like when they go to court that they could win and enforce that terms of service, and then from then on out it is legally binding, maybe. So yeah, maybe that's why. The point of cease and desist letters is to get you to stop. If you stop, and if you didn't do anything very bad at all, likely that'll be the end of the matter. I get the sense the key metrics the law firm representing the big tech company is trying to hit is quite simply, did they stop? Although the company may still keep following up with other demands, as we'll see later. The letter may try to gaslight you. I've seen this happen. not just in TOS violations and stuff, but I've seen companies do this with all sorts of legal agreements in all sorts of different situations. There may be claims in there that are false, defamatory, insulting, etc. This doesn't mean that you can take their threats any less seriously, unfortunately. But it does make this whole situation even more messed up. Do not rush to react to these false claims. Go to the next section first. Figure out your first actions. So you're starting at your cease and desist letter. What should you do next? I'm depressed to be writing this, but if it's relatively costless to you to pause providing the software service that they're targeting. Yeah, this is what I was saying. This is the easy way out. Like this, they've given you a warning shot, and this is just the easy way to do this. And if you don't have access to money to lots of legal funds, I would go ahead and pause immediately. The reality is you're being bullied by a firm with virtually infinite resources at this point while you're still stuck in shock and scared. It's probably best to simply take a pause. You can always change your mind later once you've had a chance to get more comfortable with the situation. Yeah, this is I wonder if pausing though can be used in court. I'm not a lawyer either, so don't take my word for anything. But I wonder if pausing though can be used against you in court, because you can see they can say like, "Look, you stopped. You knew you were doing something wrong." I wonder if this may come back to bite you. But I would check with a lawyer, I guess, before doing anything. There may be an aggressive deadline to respond on a cease and desist letter. For me, it was 48 hours, but I received it on a Thursday night at midnight. I would strongly advise that you don't rush to respond to the letter and find a lawyer to advise you first. The last thing you want to do is reply with an email where you make a bunch of statements that the company can use against you. Yeah, exactly. Because you don't understand the law. A 48-hour deadline is plainly ridiculous. That's not enough time to get legal advice and decide how to respond. It's all part of the bullying tactics, but you should still respond within a week or so. Yeah, that makes sense. There also may be a laundry list of demands in the letter. Explain how your software works, give a list of the domains you own, apps you operate, tell us the revenue, agree to never do it again, XYZ. I would roundly ignore all of these demands for now. Yes, if you have things in your application or your extension that are proprietary, or things that could help them block you, you have no obligation to give any of that to them. Like, they are asking. If you hand it over to them, you can't take it back. But legally, you are not required to give them any of your intellectual property. So don't do it. Don't give them source code. Don't give them links. Don't give them domain names. I would just don't do it, because they may take it and use it. It wouldn't be the first time that's been done. So do not let them bully you into taking your stuff. And simply stick to pausing the software service and not responding yet to their letter. Bringing those points together. Find a lawyer. Pause software or service. Maybe. I do this before I do that personally. But don't reply until you find a lawyer. I would don't do anything until you find a lawyer, honestly. Another thing to note at this point, you'll likely have been banned from the platform, but you haven't been yet. If you haven't been yet, immediately download all your data from all your accounts. They might not yet have spotted an account or two. Yeah. Realize that your options are limited. Let me back up. This is something we all should be doing all the time. These companies store our data for free, or even for paid sometimes. And they have essentially all the data. If they decide on a whim that they don't like you, they can refuse service at any time. And that's within their rights. That's supposed to be that way. You don't want it to not be that way. What you need to do as a consumer is be smart and download your data regularly. Always back it up. GitHub, anything. GitHub, your social media accounts, your email accounts, back it all up and put it on a hard drive somewhere and make copies of that, put it somewhere else. Do the 3-2-1 backup strategy. Do it even with all your online data, because they can take it from you at any time, and they would be within their rights to do so. They have the right to refuse you service. Any cloud provider, back all your VMs up on cloud providers, like all of that. Do it. Yes, you could take legal action in some of those scenarios, but you don't want to be in the situation where you have to wait months for your lawyers to get through, only to find out that they deleted your data a long time ago and can't get it back to you. Always back up your stuff. Always. But anyway, I digress. Realize that your options are limited. Receiving a cease and desist letter is a great life hack to realizing this fundamentally depressing fact about the most legal systems. Oh, promotion of bots on channel. Oh, yeah. That sounds great. Ban. Spam. Spam. One second. Do. And reported. Block this user. Close. Bye. Why is it still here? I don't want it here. Why? Get. Can we do this? There we go. Cool. Easy. Alright. Why when I blocked them did it not remove their messages? That was so weird. Huh. But reported, blocked, and banned. Okay. Realize that your options are limited. Receiving a cease and desist letter is a great life hack to realizing this fundamentally depressing fact about most legal systems. Imagine there's a law where if if there was a law where if a company uses our data, they have to pay us 40% of their profit. You could do that. That would be interesting. I think that might push certain services out of the market though. So you kind of gotta, there's a balance there. I usually err on the side of like not regulating, but thank you. I did my best to ban them. But yeah. I usually err on the side of not regulating because it makes it harder for smaller businesses to get off the ground and compete with bigger businesses. And I think that's really where innovation happens is in competition. So, but I do like the idea though, honestly. Just I'm not sure I agree with it in principle. But anyway, it doesn't matter if you're right. It matters if you have money, time, and willpower to go to court. Let's say you find a lawyer, and as advised in the previous section, you consult them about cease and desist letter, and they are bold, bowled over by how to weak. Okay, this sentence is weird. How to weak the legal argument over by how weak the legal arguments are. They say there's no way to judge or a judge or jury would allow their demands and their ban to stand. Great. Nope, because now you'd need to risk your finances, mental health, and years of your life to litigate against big tech company. In other words, it's completely irrelevant that you're right and they're wrong. Yeah, there's a lot of things like this, and it sucks. So, even if you're sure that you're right and that you would almost certainly win in court, you can't realistically do anything about it. The sooner you accept that, the better. The exception, if you're working at a university or some other big organization or you're extremely rich, wouldn't that be a nice problem to have? In that case, you'll have lawyers aplenty, although the mental toll and the time you'll have to spend may not be worth it. And you're still unlikely to get your accounts back since the platforms are at liberty to deny you access to them for a whole variety of reasons. They can do it at will. Like there is no restriction on that. And it should be that way because platforms need to be able to ban for a variety of different reasons so that they cannot be liable for the things their users do. So it's important that they have that. So there's this weird push and pull here that has to happen. It's this weird dichotomy, and it's hard to find where the actual good lines are. But still determined to take the matter to court, but don't have the money. You can do two things: crowdfund, and it will be difficult since there are more worthwhile things people can donate money to than a legal case against an enormous company, which you're unlikely to win unless you have a really egregious and like thing that other people want to get on the bandwagon with you on. Like it's this one's pretty hard. Ask a foundation for money. Try to get help from funding your fees from the foundations like OSF, Luminate, Reset, and Ford Foundation, some of the biggest players in funding tech activism. That'll also be difficult unless you already know them or can get a very warm intro. These foundations prefer working with people they know and trust, especially on legal issues, and even then, they might not see it as strategically valuable to fund your particular case. An added complication might be that they don't even know how much money to set aside, since legal fees can balloon over time. Yeah, this would be neat, and it might happen, but it seems highly unlikely that it would work. Legal systems where costs of taking big tech to court are lower. You'd have to ask your lawyer about that. Yeah, this differs from jurisdiction to jurisdiction. But in the US, a lot of times these lawsuits are expensive. Decide how to respond. With that in mind, how to respond. You have three options as laid out by this handy article: ignore, comply, defend. Ignoring completely and choosing to keep offering your software or service is incredibly risky. The big tech company will be very likely to take you to court, and that would really suck. So it's hard to recommend this approach. But it sometimes is an approach. So, I don't know. Complying is the best way to make sure this whole issue disappears and get your life back to normal, but you can always do so selectively. Stop doing what you're doing, take down the app, stop the service, but then ignore other demands that you see as unfair or onerous. Based on your experience, it's likely the big tech company will not pursue you any further, although they may follow up for a while. There's an important exception. If you desperately need your accounts back, for instance, your entire livelihood depends on it. If that's the case, you probably want to comply with every single thing they ask. Be a complete open book. Be careful with that. Don't give away your IP. Like I said above, don't give away your IP. Don't be remotely adversarial in any of your dealings. There will still be no guarantee of getting your account back, but it's your only chance. Finally, you could defend yourself if you have the time, money, and willpower, but as dealt with previous section, that could end up being seriously, seriously painful, even if you're completely in the right. There is, however, a way for you to fight back through non-legal means. Go to the court of public opinion. Mm, this can work, but it's complicated. You're playing a weird political, even more political game. But if you want to get the catharsis and cause big tech grief, the most valuable option is to take the fight to the court of public opinion. Tell the world about what happened. Okay, tell the world about what happened is great. Let them know what happened. But you have to ride the fine line. You can't slander them. Like you have to be, you have to present it respectfully, and you can't be defamatory. Otherwise they can sue you for that. So be aware of that. Be careful with that. Don't want anybody to go into jail for that. Um, Post about the letter everywhere you can. Keep up a drumbeat. Yeah, posting the letter itself, do it. Do it. Post the letter and make sure everybody knows, especially if you're like closing down your service, make sure everybody knows why. So that they can make their own informed decisions about whether or not they continue to do business with that company. Try to list sympathetic journalists who write about the situation. A lot of journalists are open to cold outreach through social media. Reach out to super users of your app and other sympathizers. Ooh. One sec. Mm. And ask them to share your post widely. Contact politicians who represent you. This doesn't usually do much, but you can. For instance, your local senator or representative or your MP. At the very least, they may be able to link you to journalists or offer their sympathy. Yeah, that doesn't. This doesn't do much. Um, Worth noting is this strategic. Worth noting that this strategy is most likely to go well if your software research was in the public interest. Side note, if your situation attracts lots of interest, you may find yourself completely overwhelmed by the messages from journalists, tweets from sympathetic followers, emails of support, etc. I don't know how I could have managed this better, but I'd just say be aware that this could happen, and that even well meaning support and valuable media interest can cause a huge amount of stress. If you agree to do an interview, consider doing some online training around how to talk to the media so that you can get the points across that you want to, and so you don't say anything on the record that you don't want to. Do this. Yeah, that's good advice. You don't want to say something that can get you more in trouble. Be prepared for follow ups. One deeply unpleasant part of this whole situation was how often and for how long Facebook followed up. For an entire year, from July 2021 to June 2022, they kept sending me emails. Like the world's most efficient stalker. They finally went quiet, and I haven't heard from them since. Miss you guys. I'm sure the author does. At the beginning, they sent numerous follow ups asking for me to agree to all of the demands in the original letter. Then there was a period of radio silence until 7 months later. They sent through a new document, which they called a proposed agreement. And I'm publishing this document here for the first time, in case it's useful to anyone. The document dangled the possibility of my Facebook and Instagram accounts being reinstated if I agree to similar demands of those in the initial cease and desist letter. Like agreeing to never make any software again that interacts with Facebook, but with a fun twist. Agree to a breach of obligation herein above will right damages, but that all parties agreed are reasonable to estimate no less than $30,000 in the event of breach of this obligation. Shall be entitled to recover. Oh no, that's not worth it. In other words, if I agreed to the letter and then went on to breach the terms, Facebook would automatically be entitled to at least $30K. I guess you have to get creative to bring home the bacon when Apple destroys a chunk of your revenue model. I would have been a terrible idea to sign this letter to get my accounts back, given that Facebook made it clear that they would have no actual obligation whatsoever to do this. You may request that Meta reinstate your license to access Facebook and Instagram immediately upon receipt of your signature of this license agreement, provided that the terms herein have been satisfied and no future further violations of Facebook or Instagram terms are found. Meta reserves the right in its sole discretion to determine if your license will be reinstated and to terminate your license at any time. So in other words, it is entirely up to us whether or not your accounts stick around and whether or not we fine you $30,000. Don't sign this. If you get this letter, don't sign it. It's not worth it. It's insane. So a couple things to bear in mind. You will receive follow-ups. That much is basically certain. And based on my experience with Facebook, it could be for a while. You might have given some ray of hope about how being able to get your account back, but you'll be sensible to ignore this if the language is anything like what I received. If you really, really need your account back, you might want to get a lawyer to draft a response saying you'll consider signing if the wording is tweaked to guarantee that your accounts will be restored, or in the case where it's critical to get your accounts back, you may simply want to do whatever they say to keep seeming as cooperative with them as possible. I don't think I would ever sign that, because that means there's a fine of $30,000 looming over your head, like at their discretion. So that's not good. Moving on. The final stage of grief is acceptance. From what I can tell, most of the cease and desist cases, you're not going to get your accounts back. You're not going to be able to keep making the software doing the research that led to the cease and desist. You're not going to have money, time, or willpower to take it to court. So you should really make as much of a stink in the court of public opinion as you can, which really can have an impact, because it will add to the nice long list of big tech legal horror stories which politicians read and eventually create regulation in response to in the EU, for instance. And then you should probably just accept the situation and move on working on something else. Or don't. But if you're stubborn and, like me, don't want to ever accept the situation, then keep writing about it. Keep the pressure up on politicians. Send to your senator, representative, or MP, regardless, or regular updates on what's happening since you first reached out. Stories of big tech bullying can eventually add up to regulation. Build bridges with other organizations in tech community, like the Knights First Amendment Institute, who can do and take legal action to defend developers and researchers. Band together with others who've been unfairly targeted so you can advocate for change together. And whatever you decide to do, remember that you'll get through this, even though it's quite frankly a horrible, horrible experience. Good luck. This is a great article. I really, really like it. Luis Barclay. I really like this. So, yeah. Follow, subscribe to his Substack here if you want more articles from him and to hear updates on this. There's some things like I really wouldn't do. Like I would never sign that piece of paper that says that you have to pay 30 grand. That's insane. Like if you come, it's like it's like you're in a negotiation and someone says is like I'll pay you $100 for this thing, and you say, oh no, 110, and then they come back and say I'll pay you 90. That's essentially what's happened there. Like, well, and it's less than that. It's like negative numbers, because it's like, yeah, we can extract $30,000 from you anytime we want. That's insane. So don't ever get bullied into doing something like that. You might want to stop if you're in this situation. If I was ever in that situation, stopping would probably be, unfortunately, what most people would have to do, what I would have to do. But yeah, if you can fight it, if you have the means to fight it, then why not? But Yeah, I do think it probably is important to inform the community as much as you can about your situation. Um, but uh, but yeah, make sure that you're respectful about it and you don't get any slander or libel lawsuits on your in your mailbox. So if you like this article, if you want to hear more like it, like and subscribe. If you want to see and be a part of the recording of these, we do them at around 8 p.m. Pacific time over on Twitch. So have a good one. What is next? What are we doing next? What are we doing next? What should we do next? I want to do at least one more article, maybe two. And then I want to probably one more article, and then I want to take a look at where is it? Do 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 do. Down here, where is it? Oh, this is hilarious. I love this video so much.
Right. It goes in the square hole.
Yes. Okay.
And how about this rectangle? That one
Also the square.
that goes in there too.
Yeah.
Up next, we've got
This
this
is where
thin
things go
rectangle.
The
wrong.
thin
You
rectangle.
guess where that goes?
The thin rectangle.
That's right.
The
It
square
goes in
hole.
the square hole.
They all go in the square hole. I love that video. And anyway, that's not what I'm here for. And then later we'll do the Tech Bro Purity test. We'll see what score I get. But we'll do that last, and then we'll move on to code or something else. So, let's go pick another article real quick. So this one we've done. Oh, this was neat. Okay. I want to do this one. Booting Linux off of Google Drive. Yeah, this looked pretty interesting. This one isn't too long either. So let's do this. Okay. Let's add a marker real quick. All right. All right. Booting Linux off of Google Drive. All right. Competitive is a vice of mine. When I heard that a friend got Linux to boot off of NFS, yeah, there's a lot of people that do this actually. Well, maybe not NFS, but like PXE boot. You can boot Linux off of the network. I had to one up her. I had to prove that I could create something harder, something better, faster, stronger. Like all good products, this began with an idea. My mind reached out and grabbed wispy tendrils from the aether, forcing the disparate concepts to coalesce. The mass gained weight in my hand, and a dark, swirling color promising doom to those who gazed into it for long. Yeah, that's anyone using this in production. That this will promise doom. But anyway, on the brink of insanity, my tattered mind, unable to comprehend the twisted interplay of millennia of arcane programmer time and the ragged screech of madness, I reached into the mass and steeled myself to ground lest I be pulled in and found my magnum opus. Booting Linux off of a Google Drive root. It does sound like a D&D opening, doesn't it? I like this article already. But how? I've wanted this to remain self-contained so that I couldn't have a second machine act as a helper. My mind went immediately to Fuse. Ooh, yeah, I don't know if Fuse is going to work because you've already got to be booted, I think, to use Fuse. A program that acts as a file system driver in user space with cooperation from the kernel. Fuse, it was actually, interestingly enough, used to make the something that stored data. This was my most fun thing I saw done with Fuse. Someone stored data in the latency of network cables, like in pings, essentially. So in the caches of the NIC, the routers, and everything on the internet, they were storing data in that, and they were just pinging it back and forth, and they could actually store data that way. It was really cool. I don't think you can boot a Linux kernel off of that, though. I don't think there's enough space. But yeah, a program that acts as a file system driver in user space with cooperation from the kernel. I had to get Fuse programs installed in the Linux kernel initram fs and continue networking. How bad could it be? The Linux booting process. The Linux booting process is, technically speaking, very funny. Allow me to pretend I understand for a moment. Well, you'll understand more than I have. I know there's BIOS, and I know that passes off to a kernel, and I know the kernel loads some stuff and tells devices what to do, and then you get a prompt. Those are the 4 stages. So we'll see how I do. The firmware BIOS UEFI starts up and loads a bootloader. Got that. Bootloader loads a kernel. Got that. Kernel unpacks a temporary file system into RAM, which has the tools to mount the real file system. Huh. That's interesting. The kernel mounts up a real file system and switches the process to the init system running on the new file system. Interesting. Do live disks just stay in that temporary file system then? But that must be what init ramfs is. I see this all over Linux, and I've always wondered what it was. So now I know. It's exactly what it sounds like. A proof of concept. The initram fs needs to have both network support as well as proper Fuse binaries. Thankfully, DryCup makes it easy enough to build a custom RAM init fs. So you could use Fuse inside init RAM fs and then effectively do whatever you want, boot off of whatever you want. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of cool. I decided to build this on top of Arch Linux because it's relatively late. Arch, by the way. No, I don't use Arch anymore, but he's using Arch, by the way. Because it's relatively lightweight and I'm familiar with how it works, as opposed to something like Alpine. Git clone, Dracut, Podman run. Okay, so we run a Docker container, essentially. In the container, I installed some packages, including the Linux package, because I need a functioning kernel, compiled drycut from source, and wrote a simple module script in modules fuse module setup.sh. Require binaries fuser mount fuse IO return 1, so that check depend install. Okay, that makes sense. That's it. That's all the code I had to write. Buoyed by my newfound confidence, I powered ahead and building the EFI image. Okay. And then we booted in QEMU. Fatal, no or empty root argument. Refusing to continue. You might want to save this to a USB stick after mounting them and attach it to a bug report. Dropping into debug shell. Okay. Hacker voice, I'm in. Now to enable the networking and mount a test root. I have already extracted an Arch Linux root into an S3 bucket running locally. So this should be pretty easy. Okay, interesting. This should be pretty easy, right? I have to manually set up networking routes and load the drivers. Okay. IP link, so you got to enable DHCP, and oh, so this is how to do the S3 bucket. Use path, fuse, sysroot. Sysroot, switch root. Okay, so that's the command. So you essentially chroot every time you boot Linux. You chroot out of the init ramfs. Interesting. Interesting. Honestly, I didn't know what I expected. Seems like everything is just gone. Alas, not even a tab completion can save me. At this point, I was stuck. I had no idea what to do. I spent days just looking around, poking at the switcheroo source code. All for naught, until I remembered a link Anthony had sent me. How to shrink root file system without booting a live CD. In there was a command called pivot root that switch root seemed to call internally. Let's try that out. Log out, sysroot. Failed to change root from dot to old root. Invalid argument. Oh, there's a kernel panic. Not syncing, attempt to kill init. Apparently pivot root is not allowed to pivot roots if the root is being switched is in the ramfs. Unfortunate. So how are you supposed to do it then? How are you supposed to get out of init ramfs then? The Stack Exchange answer told me to use switch root, which doesn't work either. However, part of that answer sticks out to me. Init ramfs is rootfs. You can neither pivot root nor unmount it. Instead, delete everything out of the rootfs to free up the space. Find xdev exec rm. Overmount rootfs with new root. Wow. Attach standard in and standard error to the new dev console. Oh, wow. So basically just swap out all the file, like copy all the files out of, or delete everything in an random fs, like the initial root system, and then paste in your own. Yikes. Would it be possible to manually switch to root without specialized system call? What if I just chroot? Chroot. Explicit user argument required to run it as user manager. Oh, I need to run the chroot command as PID1 so systemd can start it properly. I can actually tweak the init ramfs init script and just put up my startup commands in there and replace switch root call with exec chroot sbin init. Okay. I put this in the init sh, strict cut, source code, rules, bypass root variables, checked later, loaded the module, set up the network, tried to mount everything. I also added exec chroot, sysroot init, and instead of the switch root command, rebuilding UEFI image and Arch Linux login. I sit there in front of my computer staring. It can't have been that easy, can it? Surely this is a profane act, and the spirit of Dennis Ritchie ought to have stopped me, right? Nobody stopped me, so I kept going. I log in with the very secure root password of root as root and unceremoniously drops me into a shell. Okay. At last, Linux booted off an S3 bucket. I was compared to stare at my achievement with others. All I needed was a fresh program to include in the screenshot. Fast fetch. Failed to receive from these. Seem like DNS isn't working, and I'm missing dig and other debugging tools. Wait a minute. My root file system is on S3. I can just mount it somewhere else with functional networking, chroot in, and install all my utilities. Wow. Okay, this is wild. Some debugging later, it seems like systemd resolve D doesn't want to run because it failed to connect standard out in the journal socket, ignoring permission denied. I'm not about to try to debug systemd because it's too complicated and I'm lazy, so instead I'll just use Cloudflares. Cloudflares? Oh, they're DNS. Yeah, that makes sense. Fast fetch. Okay. Virtual machine, bash, memory, where's the disk? 0 byte of 3.98 gigabytes, fuse S3FS. That's awesome. Okay. I look around, making sure nobody tried to stop me. My windows are intact. My security system had not tripped, and the various canaries I had set up around the house had not been touched. I was safe to continue. I was ready to have it run on Google Drive. Google gets involved. There's a project already that does Google Drive over Fuse for me already. Google Drive OCaml Fused. OCaml mentioned. Thankfully, I have a Google account lying around that I hadn't touched in years ready to go. I followed instructions, accepted the terms of service that I didn't read, that I'm sure this violates, creating all the OAuth 2 secrets, enabled the APIs, installed Google Drive OCaml Fuse from AUR into my Arch Linux VM, patched some PKG builds. It's been a while, and lo and behold, I have mounted Google Drive. Mounting Google Drive and a very long rsync runs later, I have Arch Linux on Google Drive. Just kidding, it's never that easy. Here's the non-exhaustive list of problems I ran into. Symlinks don't work. Yeah, that makes sense. Hard links don't work. It is so slow. Yeah, every single disk operation has to run out to Google Drive. Relative symlinks don't work at all. No dangling symlinks, important for the stuff that links to proc and isn't mounted, or stuff that just hasn't been copied over yet. Symlinks outside of Google Drive don't work. Permissions don't work. Neither do attributes. Did I mention it's slow? Yeah, there's no metadata attached to the files. With how many problems there are with symlinks, I have half a mind to change the Fuse driver code just to create a file that ends in .internal symlink to fix all that. Google Drive completely compatibility be damned, but I have challenged myself to do this without modifying anything important. No kernel tweaking, no Fuse driver tweaking. Aw, you could at least do that. But so I'll just have to live with it and manually create the symlinks that rsync fails to make with a hacky sed command in the rsync error logs. In the meantime, I added a token files generated by my laptop into initramfs, as well as the Google Drive Fuse binary and SSL certificates, and tweaked a few settings to make my life slightly easier. Okay. Yeah, and now Fuse root bin boot dev etc home. It's nice to see that timestamps kind of work at least. Now that all that's left is to wait for the agonizingly slow boot. Chroot, sbin init file not found. Uh-oh. Perhaps they did not bother to stop me because they knew I would fail. I know the file exists since, well, it exists. So why is it not found? Simple. Linux is kind of weird, and if the binary you call depends on a library that's not found, you get file not found. Well, that makes sense. Sort of. It doesn't make sense in the error, but it makes sense conceptually. So we link in the binary. However, these symlinks don't actually exist. Remember how earlier we noted relative symlinks don't work? Well, that's come back to bite me. The kernel's looking for files in sysroot inside sysroot. Oh, I'm yawning so much. I don't even feel tired. But luckily, this is an easy enough fix. We just need to have sysroot linked to sysroot without links. So we mounted? What? Okay. Now time to boot. It took 5 minutes for Arch to rebuild the dynamic linker cache, another minute per systemd unit, and then nothing. The startup halted in its tracks, timed out, waiting for device. Oh, interesting. Dependency failed for serial on TTYS0. Guess I'll have to increase the timeout and reboot. Yep. Luckily I did not take infinite time to boot. That's what I would have been afraid of. Got to an Arch Linux login. So I'm so close to victory I can taste it. I just have to increase another timeout. I set login timeout to 0 in Etsy login defs in Google Drive and tried logging in again. This is highly convenient, by the way. You go edit your config files in Google Drive. Sysroot. Okay, wait. Sysroot. Quite the naming scene here. Sounds like a programmer. The system work, but naming is the hard part. Yeah, right? Exactly. Thankfully there is a cache, so subsequent file reads aren't nearly as slow. Okay. But yeah, here's the fast fetch fuse Google Drive OCaml fuse. Booted off of Google Drive. Here I am, laurel crown perched upon my head, my chimera of Linux and Google Drive lurching around. It's really slow, but it works. But I'm not satisfied yet. Nobody had stopped me. Are they going to run Doom on it? Nobody had stopped me because they want me to succeed. I have to take this further. I need to take this to work on real hardware. Ooh, not just a VM. Okay. Fortunately for me, I rented servers and now have an extra laptop with no storage just lying around. A wonderful victim for my test. There are a few changes I need to make. Use the right Ethernet driver and not the default E1000. Do not use a serial display. Change the network settings to match my house's network topology. I need the R8169 driver for my Ethernet port, and let's throw in Powerline into the mix because it's not going to impact the performance in any way that matters, and I don't have an Ethernet cord that can reach my room. I built the unified EFI file, and now I throw it on the boot, and I'll stick it in my old server. Despite my best attempts, I couldn't figure out what the modprobe directive is for the laptop's built-in keyboard, so I just used modprobe HID USB and used an external keyboard to set up networking. Alright, and then after all that, fast fetch. It's on an Inspiron 5547 old Haswell chip. Fuse, Google Drive, OCaml fuse. Nice. This was my magnum opus, my great work. This is the mark I will leave on this planet long after I am gone. The cloud native computer. Nice thing is, I can grab the screenshot from Google Drive and put it here. Whoa. Cloud native computer be upon ye. Or let's try that again. Whoa. Cloud native computer be upon ye. Despite how silly this project is, there are a few less silly uses I can think of, like booting Linux off of SSH, or perhaps booting Linux off of a Git repository and tracking every change in Git using GitFS. That could be cool. That could be really cool. The possibilities are endless, despite the mindless, middling usefulness. If there's anything I know about such technology, it's that moving everything to the cloud is the current trend. As such, I'm prepared to commercialize this for any company wishing to leave their unreliable hardware storage behind and move entirely to the cloud. Please request a quote. Oh, that didn't... Oh, it was supposed to take me to a contact page. It just took you to the home. That's funny. Please request a quote if you're interested in true cloud native computing. Unfortunately, I don't know what to do next with this. Maybe I should install Nix. Oh, that's awesome. No, you should install Neovim next. That'd be best. Neovim running from Google Drive. You can edit your files, your Google Drive files, while booting off of Google Drive. This is the way. This is the way. In fact, we're going to boot your Linux distro off of Google Drive so you can install Neovim and you use it to edit your Google Drive files. This seems legit, right? Right? That seems reasonable, right? Right? Seems reasonable to me. This is awesome. This sounds like a really fun like weekend or couple weekend project. I like stuff like this. This is this is insane. 10-minute boot time. I'll You know what? If you put it, I wonder how bad the boot time would be if you put it in like Google Cloud. If you put it a little closer to Google Drive, maybe the boot time would be like a minute or something. I don't know. I think it might be interesting to see. But in reality, this sort of thing gets used all the time in the data center. Like they move storage off into a separate box and then have compute in a different box, and they continue communicate over like network hardware. Like this happens a lot. So this isn't that crazy. Doing it at a kernel level rather than like a one level lower in the hypervisor is where this is interesting, and the fact that it's just Google Drive. So, but this is quite awesome. I like it. I like the article. So, hey, if you like this article or if you hate it, if you think it's dumb, let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe to the channel. If you like this and want to be a part of recording these, usually happens every Monday around 8 p.m. Pacific time over on Twitch. All right, have a good one. Okay. I mean, it's like having an SSD plugged in. Yeah, well, some of the oh, Wesley, you're leaving me. But yeah, it is like having an SSD plugged in when you're on like a super fast fiber optic NAS. So let's see here. Marker and alrighty. So I'm not going anywhere. I got one other thing I need to do tonight. It's just Wesley's going away. So, the last thing we need to do here is take a very important test. After I put this in the right spot, this is finished. I need to take a very important test. The Tech Bro Purity test, made by Steve Mugen. Do I follow him? I do not follow him. I should follow him. So let's go see how pure. All right. Let's do another marker real quick. This is gonna be a video too. Marker Tech Bro Purity test. Alrighty. All right. Here it is. You've been waiting for it. I'm sure everyone was asking. Actually, no one was asking on Twitter for this, but they're going to get it anyway. So, the official Tech Bro Purity test. The Tech Bro Purity test has historically served as a rite of passage in Silicon Valley. It's a voluntary opportunity for startup founders to bond and for engineers to track the evolution of their tech career. This is not a to-do list. Completion of all items on this test will likely result in burnout. Okay. Click every item you've done. NVC stands for Model View Controller. Is this the only acronym? Is that the only one? We'll see. Okay. Call Elon Musk your favorite entrepreneur. I don't think I ever have. I don't think I play favorites. Read 0 to 1. Nope. Never done it. Refer to yourself as a contrarian. Yes, I did the other day. I said I was a contrarian, which means I'm normal. Named your pet after a programming language or tech figure. No. No. But I could name a snake Python. That might be kind of funny. No, I'm not going to pick that. I didn't do that. Wrote a Medium post about your startup journey. I don't even have a startup. Joke's on them. Attended a conference and posted about it on LinkedIn with emojis on each new line. Again, joke's on them. I don't have a LinkedIn. Used Clubhouse? Never. Called the All In Pod your favorite podcast? Nope. Use jargon like pivot and MVP in everyday conversation. Okay, I do this at work. Okay, I do use MVP a lot. So, I mean, it's going around a lot. So, but I don't pivot. We keep on track always. Use the phrase, but how can we 10x it? No, usually it's like, how can you 10x the badness, the complexity? Read more than 5 Paul Graham essays before building a startup. Nope. Launched a product on Product Hunt. I should do this someday. Bought a standing desk to appear more productive. Okay. Now I feel called out here. Fine. Yes. I should zoom in a little bit again. Sorry. Unironically, wear tech company merch. Yeah. Why? Ironically, wear tech company merch. This counts as 2? Write a blog post about the future of AI. I haven't done it yet. I have it planned, but I haven't done it yet. I've made YouTube videos about it though. Featured in Forbes 30 under 30. No. I'm more of like a top 60, you know, not top 30. You know, I'm just not quite there yet. Had an NFT as your Twitter profile photo. No, I steered clear of that. Invested in cryptocurrency and gave investment advice to friends. I don't think he's done it. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's allowed to. Create a Slack Discord channel for your friends that you stopped using after a day. Okay. It wasn't a day. It's just a few months. Okay. Claim to be intermittent fasting when you wake up late and skip breakfast. I should do that. That's free. I could claim that. Why did I not claim that? But own an Aura ring, but think it's actually cool. I don't own one, but I might think it might be kind of cool. I wear a watch. But you run weekly retros on your own life. No, not really. I tried, but I'm not good at it. Installed Linux on your laptops just to seem more technical. It's not just to seem more technical. I don't just seem more technical with Linux. Windows won't run on it anymore anyways. They've given up on me, so I'm giving up on them. I did number 24 because I was short on storage. Yep, I believe it. I did number 24 because Microsoft said I couldn't install Windows anymore. So, started using Notion for your personal to-do lists and journal. My to-do list is in Trello, and I don't keep a journal. Not doing this one. Go to a bouldering gym. I've done that. Go to a bouldering gym and only talk to other tech people. I didn't talk to anybody. Okay, that's not true. I talked to the people I came with, but none of them were tech people. A Chromebook has barely 32 gigabytes. How are we supposed to fit Windows in that? Like, come on. It's got to be Linux. Done over 100 leak code problems, but say leak code says nothing about your ability. No, I haven't. I say leak code says nothing about your ability, but I haven't done any. Flirted with someone using tech terms. I might have to ask my wife about that one. Did I ever flirt with her using tech terms? She flirts with me using tech terms she's picked up on. But I don't think I've used the other one. So, crushed on a microtech celebrity or influencer. No. Crushed on someone you only knew through remote work? Yikes. Flirted with someone in a GitHub commit PR message? No. Went to a tech meetup hoping to meet new dating prospects. Made out with someone at a tech conference after party? What is this list? This list took a weird turn. You're like my code. Sometimes breaks, sometimes doesn't. Oh. Oh my goodness. Hooked up with someone who was into crypto. Brought a date to your company office. I have done this. I brought my wife as a date to my company office party. So I've done this. So yeah. Got with a coworker after a company onsite. No. Sent a risky no. One night stand with someone you met at a hackathon. Used a dating app to get a referral from someone. Slept with an investor on your cap table. Slept with a founder in your portfolio. What? No. Hooked up with another intern during your internship. No. Built something just to impress. Like, all of the people are men. Like, I'm not into that. Okay? Like, what? Build something just to impress someone you're interested in. I attempted to do this for my wife. I did not finish it, but I started it. Coded an app or algorithm to optimize your dating prospects. Nope, never done that. Use your coding skills to write a flirty message in code. Nope. Unironically use the phrase disruptive innovation in a serious conversation. You're like my brain where there is an error in my code. It doesn't know what to do. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. You're on a roll, Irvin. You're on a roll here. Pitched a startup calling it the blank for blank. What? Oh, no. Tweeted at a tech billionaire hoping for a reply. Guilty. Tried to be a thought leader in tech, but never got more than 10 likes on a tweet. This is me on Twitter currently. I get about 8, maybe 9, you know. That's about my Twitter stats. Gave a TEDx talk in high school. Nope, never did that. Told everyone you're a serial entrepreneur after one failed venture. Man, you are on a roll. You're like light. My eyes hurt when I see you. I may have to steal some of these. You know that low Twitter engagement that mentioned here? I might have to steal some of these. Lived in a hacker house and had tension over dishes. It was not a hacker house, but there was tension over dishes. There was a lot of tension over dishes in college. I'm just gonna check that one because that counts, right? You're like Windows doesn't. Okay. Oh my goodness. Part of a failed startup and blamed it on market conditions. No. Nope, 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 nope. Claimed you only need to capture 0.1% of the market to pit in a pitch deck. Never done that. Read Atomic Habits but have less than Atomic Habits. Nope. Quoted naval raving can count more than 5 times in your life. Nope. You've said you're making the world a better place, but we're ouch. Shots fired. That's even worse. You're like, my Windows laptop unreliable. That's even worse. Called yourself a strategist when you're literally 22 years old. I did this. Claimed Harvard on your LinkedIn when you were in their extension school. I did not do that. Safe, agile methodology. That's it. It's not even a question. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Tried bragging about your startup to impress someone at a party. Nope, nope. No startups here. Wrote a LinkedIn article about your thoughts on the future of tech, and then it got 0 likes. Don't have a LinkedIn. It's even better. Claimed you were early to Bitcoin when you actually bought it during the last bull run. Name your startup something with tech or labs to sound innovative. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, my personal website is benbrower.tech, so sure, it's got tech in the name. It's not a it's you're like Windows when near me non-existent? What? What is that? Okay, I don't get that one. But use an AI or machine learning angle to attract investors, but you don't know what GPT stands for. Oh my gosh, I don't know what GPT stands for. I've looked this up like 6 times and I do not remember what GPT stands for. Generative pre-training transformer. It was something transformer. But I never used that to attract investors. So, pitched a subscription box service for something completely unnecessary. Nope. Ask someone for advice instead of just asking them out. Interesting. Created a relationship CRM to track all your social connections. Leader in an entrepreneurship org, but not an actual entrepreneur. Nope. Claimed to be bullish on a technology you barely understand. I think we've all been there, especially early days. I think we've all been there. Oh, I heavily dislike Apple too. Don't worry. I am not a fan. Even Android's getting too closed source these days. Anyway, I digress. Attended a singles in tech mixer event. No. Called yourself an entrepreneur in your dating profile when you haven't sold anything to one customer, have one user. Ouch. I don't even have a product, so guess what? Joke's on you. Asked your first date the same question when you'd ask a user interview. No. Rejected from Interact, but you went to the contrary retreat? No. Made a pros and cons spreadsheet for potential partners? No. Hating on big tech for being evil, but literally working in big tech? Yeah. Mentioned your total comp on a first date to impress them. No, no, it wasn't the first date. Wear all bird shoes. It was like the second or third date, I think. I don't know. No. Wear Unquilo oversized airism tee? No. Give advice on how to build a product when you're literally a product manager who has never built something before. that happens. I wasn't that one. Love to give feedback on other people's products, but can't take feedback on your own. No, I can take feedback. Definitely. Spent 10K on a coding boot camp just to quit after 1 week and never code again. No, I did not do that. Had an Overwatch, League of Legends, Valorant phase. No, it was none of these. Have said, I love the work ethic because you can go whenever you want or whenever you want your work is done, but you leave the office at 8 p.m. Okay, yeah. Um, Thyself shall take feedback and improve upon them. I should make that part of me. Glorified sleeping on the floor for a company that didn't give a crap whether you lived or died. No, I've never slept on the floor of an office. Claimed you were grinding, but you were watching Y Combinator YouTube videos. No, it wasn't Y Combinator YouTube videos. Said you were an ops generalist, but you're mostly just maintaining spreadsheets. I've been there. Created a Slack poll to avoid making decisions. Not a poll, but I have asked chat the team chat quite often to avoid making decisions myself. I like my computer too dim. That's bad. Claimed to be disrupting dating, but just made another Tinder clone. Nope, never did that. Wore a Patagonia vest to a first date. Called yourself a digital nomad, just worked remotely from your parents' basement. No, I've never called myself a digital nomad. You read thinking fast and slow in college, but you're still watching TikTok. I have no TikTok account, okay? I have a YouTube account with shorts, and I get lost in that, not TikTok, okay? No, uncheck that. I'm not checking that. Insist on using Figma to plan your birthday party. No. No. You haven't actually completed a book in 2 years, but have a bookshelf section on your personal site. Yeah. Bought a $700 ergonomic chair, but still have terrible posture. I went the budget route. I went the budget route. I bought like the $250 ergonomic chair, okay, and still have terrible posture. All right. Your personal site has work, play, and about in the nav bar? No, it does not. You can't do anything socially without making a post about how you're thinking differently and asking your friends to participate. No. No bed frame. I have a bed frame, but that's mostly, well, even before I got married, I had a bed frame. Barely. Okay. Let's see. Drum roll, please. We're calculating the score. Okay. 75. Okay. Let's we have to report this, I'm sure. Oh, okay. I have to stand by. I have to use the other machine to do this. Alrighty. So sad. I know, I could have done so much better. There were so many more opportunities. Let me go post this real quick before I lose the image. No, wrong keyboard. This is so... I did wonderful. I did great. I did great. Okay, where's Ilya's post? I want to post after his post. One sec. I know you can't see it. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Alrighty. Okay. So that was pretty great. Okay. So yeah. So we'll go pop in here a sec. You beat me by 2 points. He's the one who's the last post I saw. Ilya's was. Your score was... He got 77. Okay, I got 75. What did the original guy... Oh, he didn't... He never took it. Okay, he needs to take it. Did he post later? Okay, so his was 67. Okay. Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, I feel terrible about myself now. That's the end of that. If you liked the video, comment, subscribe, maybe take the test and post what your score was. But all right, we record these at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Monday. So if you want to join us on Twitch for that, do that. So have a good one. Okay, that was good. Okay, good. We can try Letter League after the post. Letter League? What is Letter League? It's like... Oh, it's a Discord thing. Okay. Maybe I'll try this sometime. Maybe later. Not right now, but maybe. I'll look into this. I'll have someone look at this. Alrighty. What are we at time-wise? 9:43. Oh, I got work tomorrow. It's just Scrabble with extra steps. That does sound interesting. I did like Words with Friends once upon a time, so it might be good, but I'll have to look into it. Like I said, not right now. I'll have to look into it. I think the last thing, there were some Neovim config things I needed to do that I figured I might as well do on stream. So we're gonna do that real quick. So we need a new thing here. So config nvim. What are we? Lazy lock null ls. Oh, I was just swapping out one for the other. Okay. Yeah. So let's do this. Okay, I had a couple things I needed to do. What were they? One, I don't think I'm gonna get to gp.nvim. making Control J and K, C next and C pre for quick fix. Yeah, I need to do that. I need to set maps. So we need to remap. Guess your age. I have no idea, Irvin. See you later, Wesley. Glad you could stick around for a little while. Guess your age. Give me like some sort of clue. There's no way I could guess. So we need Vim key map set. You use Arch, Code HTML, CSS, JS, Node.js. So you're a web dev, but you love Arch. I'm gonna guess KDE Plasma 23. That's my guess. C control. We need control J and K. Control J is going to be C. Yeah, C next. And Vim key map set N C C K C prev. Okay. Oh, nice. I was only 10 years off. You know, it's not too much. So you're just getting started. That's awesome. That sounds like you're ahead of the curve already. You're using all the stuff and you're already into Node and HTML, CSS, and JS, which is awesome. It took me a while to get into all of that. So you're way ahead of me at that point, I think. Oh yeah, you coded for 2 years. Yeah, you're on a great trajectory. Everyone's bad after the first 2 years. Don't worry. I feel bad after this long. So, I mean, that feeling doesn't go away. Just don't let it stop you. Like, you're always getting better as you go. As long as you keep getting better and keep pushing yourself, you'll be great. Don't worry about it. No, I wanted that. So we want to, let's just say ft plugin. And let's send all that to quick fix. And then now if I say control J, control K, where, and map. What are we, space, where's my control keys? These are all unreadable for you. You guys don't speak up at all when things are not readable. M, C, CQ, CR, CW. Yeah, I don't see any. Control dot? That was something that tried to be mapped. Right? Okay. Did it not save? Control J, Control K. Oh. Well, this doesn't explain why it wasn't there, but I know that these need the CRs in order to do anything. Okay. Okay, if we go into one, now we say Control J. We just move down. Took me 2 days. Oh, you're still bad. I mean, if you want to check out my GitHub. Oh, yeah. We'll go check out your GitHub. Here, one sec. Do do do. Do do. Do do do. Let's go here. Lava Dude 82. Revivify projects repo. Oh, we got ourselves a Node.js server here. Little Express going on. Nice. Serving up some JSON. What are we doing here? Read file. So SSL certs. Oh, don't do this. Don't put your SSL certificates in GitHub. That's a no-no. Create server. Listen ports. Okay. What else we got here? Played a little with Unity. Nice. Cool. Pack. Useful tool for creating custom templates for coding and other file types. I've built something like this, I think. Git clone pack, cd pack, node pack, bin, so you install it. And yeah, you add it to user.bin. Simple tool. What does this do? Coding projects, node pack, main.js. What do we do here? So node pack usage create pack template. This creates templating. Repository templates. Very cool. It's useless. No. I don't think so. I think you should keep fleshing this out because I eventually needed a tool that did something similar to this. I needed like a the pre-made executable is. Gotcha. I needed to make something like this at work, actually. There was a bunch of boilerplate code that we needed to write that we couldn't abstract out. And so I built out a node script that basically like uses EJS and a templating language and just kicks out source files that we can just paste into our project. And it's incredibly useful. It's like stuff that like, you can't do with snippets. ES6. Nice. Yeah. So something like this, you add a little bit of that once you get down the road and you need that use case, like, yeah. KSH is better. What's KSH? Oh, in your stuff? KSH cart shell. Whoa, what is this? Custom simple terminal that can do simple tasks. Oh, nice. You built your own shell. It's JavaScript shell. Cool. ls, list files in current directory, cd. So it's echo commands, exits the terminal. So you can do some simple like file management stuff with it. Let's go look at the code. Commands. JS. Actually, we should go back one real quick. Main.cart. Yeah, read line sync, CLI color. So you get your own prompt going here. Oh, you do import commands. I should have looked there. Child process. Oh. Can you? Need to make a modular system. Oh, so you got move. Oh yeah, you got say. You got exit in here. CD. SH. You spawn a shell. Oh, you run a shell file. Yeah. LS. Yeah, you've got the makings of your very own JS based shell here. You should try it in Replit. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've never used Replit. Build software faster. Okay. So I assume that I need this. I could try it in GitHub code spaces maybe, but log in, sign up for free. Okay, you can't see this. This is not for you to see. It's decent. It's confidential for my eyes only. I don't want to dox myself, you know? Built-in AI. Okay. So Replit won't dox me, right? I'm hoping it won't dox me. First name. Yep, there I doxed myself. Sure, intermediate. Node.js. Where's my terminal? Run. Shell. Cart shell. They got scared. It's confidential. That's what I say to scammers. My info is confidential. As a scam researcher officer at LAPD, they get scared. Okay. Node main dot cart dot js. Oh. npm install. You know. Ooh. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. I have npm install like ingrained in my brain from not knowing about npmi for years. Nice. What else can I do? What else was there? Do you have a help? Help not found. NVM version manager. Yeah, I use N. N is pretty good too, but I've used NVM in the past, and I didn't really have any objections to it, honestly. Yeah. Wait, so you said you had move? Okay. Replit.nix. What file can I mess with here? Maybe I'll go down one more. Maybe I'll just mv replit.nix blah. Oh, I thought you said you implemented MV, but maybe it's not in there. But nonetheless, this is really cool. Oh, you said you did. Gotcha. This is really neat. I like it. I think this is neat. Oh, config. Oh yeah. We didn't try the say command. Hello stream. Yeah, it works. So this is neat. I think there's actually try the O. Oh, config. What does config do? Config. Update configuration value. Print default true. There's TD. Print decoration. Config.json. Oh, we can use this. What's in here? Print default false. Print decoration. Oh. So we can just come in here and we can say like, I like this prompt better. Does it do it instantly? Oh, that's sweet. No, tab sucks for real. Yeah. But that's something you can add later. That's not a problem to add. But no, this is really cool. I like it. I think like maybe like add ways to like import like node stuff into it, like import node scripts. But that would be really cool. Yeah, and make a modular version. That'd be neat. This is neat. Where were we? We were back in Neovim. Nmap. Did it take my mapping yet? Like put files in folders and add them as a command. Yeah. You should be able to do that with like dynamic imports. Dynamic imports should be able to get you there. Plug MCCQ CWCD. Yeah, it's not mapping things correctly. Remap. All my maps are set here. VRN control C. Can I not map control? Oh no, there they are. Oh, I know what I did wrong. When you map stuff like this, you have to do these thingies. If I can type. I don't know why I can't type angle brackets. Sometimes. Yeah, look at that. Fly through that quick fix list. Oh, you want to share an image? I don't know if there's a good way to do that. Well, I use fs read dir sync. So you could do that and you could use the eval. Imgur would work. So there's one thing off the list. That was one thing I wanted to get done. Make minus go to the file explorer. Yeah. So let's so we need to go remap net rw leader pv leader pf. Do I not have rip? I don't have rip grep installed? I thought I sudo apt update. Oh, thank you, Irvin, for following. This is a long shot, but do you know anything about OCaml hypervisor systems running on this Linux FPGA for high volume use cases? You're talking about high volume trading? No. I do not. I'm not an OCaml programmer. So that is not me. So one sec. It's your desktop. Okay. Nothing inappropriate, I hope. We gotta make sure nothing. I can't just be opening links willy nilly, like on stream. So, but oh yeah. Oh, what are you using to do this? Because I've seen these like Windows style systems before. This is really neat. You like the Windows aesthetic, but not Windows. Yeah. This is just like a KDE Plasma theme. So you get all the nice KDE animations with it and stuff. Because I remember KDE was nice looking and feeling, but at the time when I played with it, my laptop could not. I had a really bad laptop. It would not handle even the animation stuff. It was bad. I really like i3. This has been what I've settled on. Or Sway. This is Sway, not i3, but they're basically the same thing. Just one's Wayland and one's X. I feel like I can jump around things fast with this, like jump between, here and here with like single key presses. So this has been my favorite lately. Is it as aesthetically pleasing? No. Leader PF? Yeah. Let's add another one of these. Yank this, paste this. Let's just say minus. So now if we're saying remap, I say that. Oh, no. It's not leader PV. It is leader PV. That's what I want. Shoot. Okay. Remap. Leader P. Well, let's do this first. Vim. It's minus. And then we need telescope.lua. And we need to delete this. Let's just say lazy.lua. So now we do that. Yes. So now it goes up one folder and it also exits me from the file. I like that remap better than leader PV, but I'll keep leader PV just because of the muscle memory. I would have known it's not Windows. So I definitely would have known it wasn't Windows, but I wouldn't have guessed that it was KDE Plasma. Like I know KDE looks like, I mean, at least it used to look like, and that's not, it doesn't quite look exactly like it. But this is not, if your question was, is this Arch Linux? This is not Arch. This is this is a new machine, by the way. I haven't used it much. This is Ubuntu 2204 running Wayland. So this is what this system is. So, but no, I think it looks pretty cool though. And I think most people who saw that, most people who didn't even like, they would be like, what version of Windows is that? Like it looks really similar. The only thing that really clues me in is the gap around the taskbar. That's about the only thing that tells me this isn't Windows. Other than maybe the clock sizing. Other than that, it's really close. So I think it's awesome. Makes Microsoft mad, you know. Okay, so that was item 2 I wanted to do on my NVIM to-do list. I think it being 10:12 and all, I think I need to probably think about heading out. I got some YouTube videos to edit, and I need to get to bed at some point. I got work tomorrow. So yeah. So I think I'm headed out. So everybody have a good night. Thanks for hanging out for a little while. Appreciate it. All right. Do we have enough Twitch for a raid? We might be able to raid somebody. Let's see here. What do we got here? Who's online? Nobody I've heard of online. So who else is in? Do you guys have any recommendations for people to raid?
What is beautiful
Ads.
about our family?
Ads. Not ads. Please, programmer. We'll see if they're programming in this after this ad. Doesn't look like. Making Warhammer 40k overlay. What are these guys up to? Oh, no. Let's not do that. Unity, C sharp. Yeah, this might be good.
Changu shortcut fails. I don't think that poll
This
is
might be
there
good.
anymore.
Unity's neat.
Or no, this is a different. What's a different shortcut? What? That's not fails. That's one picture of one car.
Oh, we'll go here.
Anyways. Yeah. Yeah, so this whole area
It's doing car
is
crashes in Unity.
pretty wild. This is more my beach over here, Sese and Mungu. It's coming this way a little bit, but it's definitely more chill out here, like Tanalot. And where is Tanalot? Tanalot's that's further out. Where is Tanalot? I just completely forget where Tanalot is.
All right. Well, everybody have a good evening. Yeah, I know we are. We'll
Anyway,
still
I'm
do
getting
it.
sidetracked.
Why not?
Yeah, much fun. Okay. So, I can't explain. Imagine explaining to your insurance you lost a car in a rice paddy. Yeah. I mean, it's actually like less so with cars, but like I don't know, like I can just look up like Bali motorcycle tourist no insurance.
All right. Let's I always forget to stop YouTube. Bye.